And thank you for joining us today for the Thrive Thursday Everyone Has a Story Author Spotlight Series. Today, I am joined by author of Chapter 13, and believe it or not, Thrive Thursday Episode 13, TaJuanna Taylor. TaJuanna, we're so excited to have you here with us today and to be part of this amazing project. And I'd like to start off with taking us back to November of 2020. I can remember it like yesterday. Thanksgiving morning, I get the idea of emailing 60 Thrive Thursday guests to tell them about a book launch project that I came up with for Thrive Thursday. Well, TaJuanna, I can tell you, out of those 60 people that I emailed, 13 people said yes. And since I'm all about saying yes every day to new opportunities and to the world, I would like to ask you two questions on that.
Right.
One, why did you say yes? And two, why do you think people hold themselves back with having a fear of saying yes?
Yes. Well, first I want to say thank you for having me here and being a part of this collective. This has been an amazing experience. And can you believe we're almost at November 2020?
I can't believe it.
It's almost been a year already. I can't even believe, like, time is flying. But to answer your question, why did I say yes? First and foremost, I said yes because of you. Right? Encountering you, genuinely encountering you through the Thrive Thursday episode. It's like, oh, Laura's in my inbox. Laura wants me to come to a meeting. Yes. Why not? It's Laura. Right? It's Laura. I don't even remember if you said what the Zoom was for. I kid you not. I just saw you. I saw the date and time, and I was like, even if I got to do it mobile and be off camera, I can listen in and speak when needed, right? But it was you. It was Laura. So I said yes. That was because of the encounter that we had already had prior to the episode itself. Then, because of the woman who introduced me to you, Ananya, I said yes because Ananya introduced me to you. The encounter that you and I had through that introduction, why not keep this good thing going? Why not be of support, listen in to see whatever it was that she needed, because you created space for me. And it's not, we talked about before recording, it's not because you did, I'm going to do, it's the reciprocity, right?
Yeah.
When you treat people well, when you're genuinely just compassionate and caring and interested, I had no reason to say no.
Wow. So then let's flip it. Why do you think people say no? And forget this particular example, but
Right.
in general, a lot of times people hold back. What do you think holds them back?
Fear.
Oh.
Fear.
Fear
right?
of what?
Fear, and it's that acronym, false evidence appearing real. Fear of, oh gosh, Laura's in my inbox. What can she possibly want from me? I don't have anything to give Laura. I don't know. I'm not ready. I don't have the time. I'm not makeup. I don't have my hair done. Laura wants me to get on the Zoom, right? People forecast their thoughts, not realizing they didn't even give themselves a chance to make an informed decision. They didn't even acquire the information. They had no clue. They just cut it off because they were short-sighted about themselves. The unknown, it's scary, it's unfamiliar. What if it doesn't, right? That loud lizard brain says, what if it doesn't? What if I don't? What if I can't? What if now's not all these what ifs? And I am a serial optimist. And not that I don't have my moments. I have my moments, and I say, girl, you got 5 seconds, right? You got 5 seconds to be pitiful. And then we're going to count backwards to 1, and we got to keep it moving. We got to keep it moving and ask yourself, well, okay, what if it doesn't? But what if it does?
I know.
What
Yeah.
if it does? If it does, who knows, right? Like this was something I put on my, I don't have a vision board, but I have a list.
Okay.
Right? I have a list of things. And there's some things that I may articulate, and there are some things that I absolutely do not. And being an author was a thing I had on my list. Didn't articulate it because I said to myself, I definitely want to do it. I know I don't want to matriarch everything. Like, I don't want to go through the self-publishing journey.
Yeah.
But somehow it's going to happen. I didn't even have a deadline as to when. And when you sent that Zoom, because you got on the Zoom, and when you said, I was like, what if I had said, no, I don't have time, or
Right.
yeah, I don't think I can fit it in, or what? Like, what? In some form or fashion, this is manifesting this year.
That's right.
Right? But
And TaJuanna, I'm a big believer in ripples, right? I believe all of us create ripples,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so, and you know this from even being on that initial call, that my thought was is that I will give the gift of you guys having your first author experience. And then I hope that the ripple continues, right? I hope you wind up doing your own book or not. That's okay, either way. But the point is that you will be a published author for the rest of your life. No one can ever take that away from you. That is a gift that you have. And when I think about this experience, we started doing the Thrive Thursday during, the height of the pandemic. We would have thought by the time this book launched, we'd be behind us, but it's not, right? So it's not. Here we are. But I think to myself, we've memorialized this period of time, right? So that 20 years from now, hopefully it'll be a distant past, any pandemics, and we've memorialized it together. We did this together.
Yep.
And those ripples are out there. It's happening. We can't stop it. The ripples are happening, and who knows what's going to be created because of it, right?
And the liberation that comes with these ripples too. Like you said, some may continue on to write a book or more books, right? Some may finally just start speaking. They may realize, wow, my voice is helping somebody. My voice may save a life. My story, it's not all that unique, but it still needs to be told. How many of us probably held on to the stories that we've shared, or have not shared them, or have not shared them at the level of detail in which the book gave us the platform, or the permission, or to release and help us to connect with somebody who thinks they're in this world going through that thing alone. That ripple, I mean, you can't put anything on it, not a price. We could probably come up with all kinds of cute adjectives to describe it. Yet what it's going to do in someone's heart and mind, we can't ever measure the value of that. Right. And it's all because you said, yes, I'm going to give this book.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this book to people who are willing to say yes to whatever their struggle was, past or present, and who are wanting other people to say yes, simply because they were able to, and they can help someone see how they will be able to.
That's right. And I'm a big believer that every single human being has a story to share that can be related to someone else that's going through a similar situation. So you are correct. When you're feeling that dark place where you feel you're the only one, you're not.
Nope.
There's always someone else that has gone through something similar. And diving into that a little bit about your chapter. Okay. So you mentioned, I love this, that the way you said this, but you mentioned that you checked off all your must-haves, the college degrees, a good job, a husband, a child, but in a blink, it changed.
It changed.
So what did this wake-up call teach you about yourself? And about what was truly important in your life?
It taught me about my primary identity
Oh,
and where it truly is found. And it's not in things, right? When we're brought into this earth, right? Where whatever you believe, I'm a faith-based believer. When we're brought into this earth, we're already valuable. We already have a purpose. We already have innate skills and abilities. We already have a preference for things that actually, like, they're cultivated throughout our living, whether it's through hardship, whether it's through joy, whether it's through whatever it is that we, are having fun with or struggling through doing, living. Those things catapult us till we say, either I want to find my purpose or I found my purpose. And after checking all the boxes and getting to the place of, is that it? Is this all it amounts to, right? When it goes well. And when it didn't go well, I still had to ask myself, there has to be more to life than this. There's still reason to live. There's still a lot of life and love and laughter and joy and support and experience and knowledge for me to give. It can't end because those things were fleeting. I'm still TaJuanna. I'm still valuable. I'm still worthy. I still have, goodness to share with other people. So now what do I do with it? How can I take my life and carry it forward to help someone see the value in their life, in their times of either disappointment, or in their times of starting over, or in their times of, okay, I've accomplished that. Now, what next?
yep.
Right? What next? And so it really showed me that whether I have or whether I do not have, I am still worthy. My life is still worth living. My presence is still enjoyable, right? Not perfection by any means, yet I am still TaJuanna.
I love it.
None of those things define me.
Nope. But that's a hard place to get to, I think, for a lot of people. I don't know. There's probably some people that never get there in their lives, which is so difficult, right? I mean, you've probably read lots of books and stories about, they ask people on their deathbed, what do they regret,
Right.
or what's, and it's sad, right? I mean, that's the worst thing that could ever happen, is to get to an end of life and say, I wish I had followed my purpose, or I wish I had, right? Because all those things and all that other stuff, none of it matters at the end of the day, right?
Spent your life chasing,
Yeah.
right? The definition of something that never truly defined you.
Right.
Right? Now it accompanied you. It complemented you, if we're putting things in proper perspective. But they don't define me, right? Like, it's very rare. I mean, even in professional world, oftentimes the called are qualified, not necessarily that the qualified are called, right?
Very true. They're very well spoken. I love that. All right. So I'm next question, because I'm a big believer in this, and I certainly want your insights. How important do you think it is to have the support of a community around you when you're going through a difficult time? Maybe not even going through a difficult time, at all times. How important do you think it is to have a community around you?
It is extremely important, because the inner critic, to me, is the worst critic of them all. Because we say things to ourselves that we may not ever say to anyone else. And not even about ourselves, but literally, like, just to the other person. You would not criticize the other person openly and publicly the way we criticize ourselves and our mind. Oh, look at my hair. Look at my face. Look at my teeth. Look at my body. Look at my car. Look at my house. Look at my kids. Look at my, right? We find all the wrong things about ourselves. Yet we can look at an external person and find all the great elements about them. So we need people to deposit those great things back into us. We need people to help us see ourselves the way they see us, because we do what we do so well, we don't even know how significant our presence is. We take it for granted because it's just us doing what we do, right? But other people will say, wow, Laura, you making the space for other people to come in and share their story, right? For other people to say yes to this opportunity that maybe if it weren't for you opening that door, never would have happened, or they never thought it possible. They didn't even think, like we talked about, they didn't even think beyond their wildest dreams because they couldn't even conceive it, right? Those moments, people expressing us and reminding us about who we truly are, not just how we feel, but who we truly are and how we impact their lives, makes a huge difference. The other thing with that though, Laura, I believe, and I've experienced myself and encourage other people, knowing people's place in your life is very important.
Okay. Go a little deeper on that.
Go a little deeper. So I have, my mom, as thoughtful and as amazingly supportive as she is, I would not go to her for business advice.
Right.
That's not her place of proficiency.
True.
Right? Doesn't mean she doesn't want me to do well. Doesn't mean she won't even try to give me her best advice, but that's not her place of proficiency, right? But if I want to go to her about motherhood, if I want to go to her about resilience, if I want to go to her about prayer, about sacrifice, about, those things, I know who to go to. I have some friends who I will go to about dating. I have some that I would never.
Right. Right.
About dating, right? I have some business professionals who I can go to again about business or finance, and then I have some people who I would never talk to about money. I have, people in counseling or in faith that I can go to about spirituality and about focus and about things. And I have other people. So knowing
that's a really good point. That's a really good point, because sometimes we spoke about our bubble, right? Living in our bubble. Yeah. And it is so important to know who to go to depending on what you need to be filled up, right? Right. So if you're a little low in spirituality, you have to go to the person that can fill that up. If you need business advice, you need to fill that section up. So you're right, because sometimes we go to the wrong depository, and we expect them to fill up where we're deficient, but they aren't the expert to be able to fill us up. And anything, they could deplete us in those sections.
People can't give you what they don't have to give. So it's really not, we can't get mad at them if we mismanaged our resources.
Right.
And that's personal or professional. And if you think like, well, I can't go because I'm supposed to be a leader, every great leader has a counsel.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
It's funny you said that. I met a gentleman, his son actually just got into the NBA. He was a top college basketball player, and he was always, with his son all through his journey. And he's also very spiritual, and he's also a top business leader, right? So, I was asking him, I'm like, how did you guide your son, right? And he said, from the time my son started playing basketball, I have a board of directors. He's like, and that board of directors kind of guides my son, but each of them have a different role, just like what you said. So one person is how he thinks, and one person is his physical body, and another, is his education. And he's like, it changes depending on what season you're in. It evolves, right? But we all should have a personal board of directors, like you said, a council, right? A council. And each one of them serves a different purpose.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. That is awesome. Okay. So speaking of these leap of faith, right? And saying yes to these new opportunities, what do you think we need to do in order to prepare for a leap of faith?
To prepare for a leap of faith, I highly recommend you think about what is it about you, or what is it that you are equipped to already do. A lot of times we think a leap of faith has to be way over in left or right field. And actually, that doesn't serve you. You know why? Because the leap itself is already going to require a lot. It's going to require a lot of time. It's going to require a lot of energy. Depending on the kind of leap you take, it may require some money. It may require some sacrifices, with friends and family. Because again, you're doing this together. You're not walking this journey alone. Do it yourself doesn't mean, right? Do it alone. And so you're walking this journey. So you want to think about, what am I already equipped and capable of doing? How am I already serving others? Ask the people around you who will not just say yes to you because they love you, but they will actually challenge you. They'll spar with you to find that absolute root of what is it that is so great about you that brings a different level of perspective, transformation, like just a life-changing element. No matter how simple you think it is, they come to you for it because on their own, they can't get it.
Right.
Start there. And when you start there, you'll be able to think about the next natural thing and the next natural thing and the next natural thing. And because those small victories can be gained, you can build up the strength, the courage to think about the big dreams, right? The big impacts, the big vision, the bigger goals that may have some tangible components to them, right? We're not saying that you shouldn't want certain things. We're saying that as you pursue these goals, how you pursue them will make all the difference, and genuinely start with who you are and what you are already equipped and capable of doing. That will allow you to take that big leap, because you're not thinking about your potential. You're thinking about the fact of who you are and what you can accomplish. And most of the times, all that needs to be accomplished is what's in front of you right now to move towards the next great value. So start with you, right? Hear your counsel so you can make an informed decision, but be the CEO, right?
Yes.
Of your life, of your business. Make the decision. That's what you got to do, is make a decision so that you can take the leap and go forward in a way that promotes, encourages, inspires, and projects through you.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, you are awesome as always. Every time I speak to you, it brings me great joy. So
with you.
Last question. All right. We've all gone through lots of lessons that we've learned in life. I'd like you to share with the audience, what is one lesson and piece of advice you would like to share based on what you learned from that lesson?
From that lesson, if there's anything that I can say to just accompany what I've already expressed, because one of them I kind of already said, grace. Give yourself grace to know that things won't always go your way. And when they do, don't lose sight of your humility, right? Don't lose sight that you're untouchable. Don't lose sight that, like, you're still human. And there's someone who's been where you've been, or who's going to be, right? Or who's been where you've been, or who's going to be where you're going.
Right.
And you may be that conduit, or you may be that key or that clue to help them increase in perspective, to help them see their worth, to help them know that, hey, this may not be the first, nor will it be the last time that you will come through this space, this feeling, this experience, yet have the grace to be kind, not only to yourself, but to the next person, because you're still worth it.
Absolutely. TaJuanna, I'm curious, do you believe that people come into your life at the moment they're supposed to for a reason? Like, do you believe?
I genuinely do. And it was only after such a circumstance. Not that was my first life difficulty, but that circumstance was such an awakening because it was my own, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you live through circumstances by nature of other people.
Right.
By it being my own, I genuinely was able to peel back the layers and see how saying yes to going forward, literally, it's like, oh, this person needed to hear that.
Right.
Not because I felt it, because they said it.
Right.
I didn't know when I encountered them that I would be needed, or that they would need me, or that I needed them. Because sometimes
Right.
I find myself learning a lot from
Of
the people
course.
that I encounter as well. But definitely it's like I know the purpose that I have in this person's life. Now I'm asking for the grace and for the courage to say yes, to follow through. And when the time and season comes to move forward, that I can push them towards the next person, or towards the next resource, or towards the next step that they need to increase them and their value, right? Because
Yeah.
we're not here to hold or anchor.
No, we don't want to hold. We
Right?
want them all to fly
We
and
want
keep
them to
going forward.
fly.
Yes.
Yep. So I
Yes.
genuinely do believe that people are placed, or I'm placed
Yeah.
in, in our lives
In that moment, right? In that
right
moment. And then you're guiding them into
Yes.
whatever that next moment is.
Yes.
And I love that you said that about not holding on to them, because sometimes we get fearful when that change happens, when someone does move on to another stage, but that's natural progression. You want that to happen for ourselves and for others.
And for
Wow.
others. Yeah.
Love it. TaJuanna, you are amazing. She is chapter 13, episode 13. Obviously, from hearing everything she had to say, you want to make sure that you read her wonderful chapter and learn more about her. You are wonderful. Thank you, TaJuanna.